Happy birthday, Aquarius. This month, you're going to the front of the class. Join us as Astro Numerology reveals the February Astro Numerology forecast for 2025. Welcome to Astro Numerology Reveal, everyone. How are you, Lloyd?
Fine. How you doing, Kimbaley? Good to see you.
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I can't believe that it's already February.
I was going to say the same thing. Would you believe we are second month into the new year already? It's incredible. Time goes by fast when you're having fun, obviously.
I don't know. It seems like it gets to Aquarian season pretty quick.
Well, it's my time of the year, so I couldn't wait to get here. Okay.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I
Oh,
see.
yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
see. Before we even get started today, let's talk about January. And I want everyone to put down in the comments how your January has been this year. Starting out for this fresh new year, this 9 year, what has it been like for you? And also share with us what your zodiac sign is or what your birthday number is so we can see or determine what you have been experiencing. I forget to ask that question sometimes. So let us know because these comments are very interesting to us. I want to ask you, Lloyd, what was your January like? Mainly, I want to know what the overall experience, not just your life, but what do you see going on in the world around you since the year of the nine has finally like gone full blast?
Well, it's interesting. In a prior interview we did, we talked about the nine and how it represents fire. So, how did January start off? Well, with fires all up and down California. And I was explaining, well, not at that time, but I can explain at this time. How I arrived at that is that the state of California is under the astrological sign of Virgo. Its date of birth is September the 9th of 1850. However, when I took 9, the month, added to 9, the date, added to the year 2025, which is a 9, California is in a 9 personal year. So I explained that 9 has to do, yes, with the humanitarian side, the more giving and caring and sharing side, but at the same time, 9 to the negative governs knives, guns, fires, explosions, confrontations, fender benders, things of that nature, conflicts or whatever nature. So unfortunately, California has went through that, and it was interesting because prior to that, back in December, going into January, there was a rash of fires and the sighting of drones over the skies of New Jersey. Well, that was founded on December the 18th, and 1 plus 8 is 9. And then there's one more state to go that hasn't been mentioned, which is Connecticut. And that was founded on January the 9th. So it just had a birthday. It hasn't even been a month yet until it celebrated its birthday. So it's it's been very, very interesting. But I would like to think that this would be more the humanitarian side rather than conflict and wars and drama and things like that. And people are really on edge, which is to be expected in a 9, because 9 is fire and is not known to have much patience. So people need to exercise some patience, which is definitely easier said than done when you're under a lot of pressure.
I've kind of been noticing some of the same things too. I rarely watch television, but I've noticed that when I turn it on, especially this month, I have seen a lot of accidents and a lot of fires and stuff. There was one incident where a firefighter happened to go in to save someone and collapsed on the scene. and he lost his life
I heard
during
about
that
that.
time.
Yeah.
And when it happened, I think it was on a 9-day too. So it's been a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things going on. But I've been in, of course, to the 11th month, and I've been cautious and patient because January is not one of my best months. So I just been patient and caution, and everything has been working out pretty smoothly. Just oh yeah, one of the things that happens to me sometimes during 9 cycles, if I'm cooking or something, I have to pay attention to what I'm doing because the food will burn, and I burned my cookies not too long ago.
Ah, man, and I love cookies too. Okay, like cookies is right up my alley, boy. You
in this three in this three personal year, I wanted those cookies.
know, I know that's right. Because if I get a taste for something, boy, and all you do is mess it up too, I know you said, "Ah, man," you know what I'm
Yeah, that did kind of throw me off.
saying?
Another question I want to ask you about was the planetary alignment that we had recently. I know you talked about it a little bit on your show. Can you just touch on it just a little bit for us here?
Yes. Well, on the 21st of January, and actually, the nice thing about it is there will be an alignment all the way through um, mid February of this month. 6 planets align themselves: Saturn, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Neptune, Uranus. Uh, and so it's rare that you'll have planets in alignment like that, where you could. Now, about 4 of those planets, I understand you can actually see from the naked eye with the sky. If you're in a cloudy city like New York City, that might not be possible. But if you're a country girl or a country guy, maybe you can look up the heavens and see those things. But then there's going to be an alignment of 7 planets, with Mercury included, on the 25th of the month. And then there are going to be 8 planets actually aligned, but it won't be until May 19th, 2161, 136 years from now. So if anybody got the formula that's sticking around that long, they
I
know
plan
somebody.
on being here.
Well, I'll put it like this. When I was explaining, I says, if man doesn't blow himself to kingdom come, okay? Because man is so touchy, you know what I'm saying? And got this thing about wanting to kill each other. I don't understand it. I mean, as long as I've been here, it's interesting how naive I can be by realizing that, we all supposed to make the best of ourselves, love mankind, things like that. But people seem to be at war. And unfortunately, a lot of it has some profit connection attached to it, which is so unfortunate, such as greed and other things like that. But hey, who knows? We won't know anyway. But I'll keep my fingers crossed that on May 19th of 2151, for those that are blessed to see that a century and a half up the road, that they can actually see the 8 planets in alignment like that.
Well, I'm stubborn. I'll be here.
Yeah, well, I might be right next to you. No, we might have some canes and wheelchairs, but we'll be here checking it out. Okay.
So, what are we featuring from the almanac today?
Well, we started this new feature. We started a couple of new features, actually. One of them is starting, which is I am so glad to start with the sign of Aquarius this year. But let us go to the almanac. Okay, so I'm a little partial to Aquarius. I'm happy to be an Aquarius. Okay. Well, with the almanac, we were featuring those things that most people, the almanac has always been a staple in the South and other parts of the country, because what they do, believe it or not, is go by the cycles of the moon. So, for example, we started out by saying, what's the best time to break a habit? Well, in this case, the best time in the month of February will be the 23rd, the 25th, and the 26th. Again, people have to understand, to break a habit takes 21 days, to form a habit takes 21 days. This break a habit has a dual purpose. On one, if you want to start a habit, that's the time. But if you want to break it and get rid of it, like resolutions and whatnot. So people that made resolutions last month in January probably don't even have those resolutions now. They probably forgot all about them. But if they are in earnest about breaking it, that is the date, the 23rd, the 25th, and the 26th of the month. So now, let's say somebody wants to buy a car. Well, they'll find that February the 7th, the 14th, the 24th would be the best time to do it. Now, what our responses was from cutting hair, cutting it to make it grow, or cutting it to cut the growth. So for cutting the hair, anywhere from February the 3rd through the 7th, anyone, men too, who they feel they're thinning or balding and whatnot, for women too, you want to make your hair grow, definitely between February the 3rd through the 7th, also followed by the 10th and the 28th of the month. So what happens on the reverse? Let's say somebody's, my hair is growing like weeds and stuff like, or growing like a forest. Well, they'll find that if the 20th through the 24th would be the best time to cut their hair. We'll begin to slow down the growth of their hair where it's not so fast, especially if a person's got a thick head of hair, especially in the case of women. Now, let's say somebody want to buy electronics. Well, the best time to do it would be on the 7th of this particular month to do that. And to start a business, if you want to start a business, well, that's coming up on the 5th. That would be the best time to start a business, launch it, things of that nature. And finally, if you want to ask for a loan, that should be anywhere between the 3rd through the 5th or the 10th or the 11th of the month. That would be the time. But before we start the signs, let me tell you about what's going on in the heavens numerically. What happens is that if you take this month, February of 2025, it's actually an 11 universal month. I know somebody out there saying, yeah, so what? So what that mean? Well, that means a whole lot to me. Because in numerology, there's always been traditionally, when I was coming up back in the day, as they say, two master numbers, the master number 11 and the master number 22. Well, not only do these are they master numbers, but these master numbers govern zodiac signs. The master number 11 governs the sign of Leo. The master number 22 governs the sign of Aquarius. So February is going to be an 11 universal month. Now, how did I get it? Very simple. If you look at it, I took February, added it to 2025, added my columns down, added across, and you see it adds up to the 11. And we're in the sign of Aquarius, which is the master number 22. So here it is. We have both master numbers occurring at the same time. Do you know what that means? It means it's going to be an exciting month. It's going to be a crazy month. It's going to be a month full of twists and turns and ups and downs and it's going to be like that, okay? I'm so glad I'm an Aquarius, okay? Trust me, I'm in my element. That's why we're going to start with the sign of Aquarius first. We're in the month of Aquarius. I already told everybody how we start in this puppy, okay? Each and every month. So Pisces, who are always last, they're going to be first next month. Everybody else got to wait their turn. And Aries will be last for a change, okay? As against first. Well, listen, everybody gets a turn. So the point is that it's going to be an interesting thing. And you know what's so interesting about this 11-month for February? We now have the 47 presidents sworn in, and 4 plus 7 is 11. Not only that, but when I did his birthday, June the 14th at the 2025, the president is in an 11 master number year. So it's very interesting. Very, very interesting how it works this particular month. So this is a month for everyone to take a higher awareness, a higher consciousness. This is a month that's going to be full of inventive and exploratory ideas and concepts and innovations and inventions. It's going to be a very, very interesting year. That is for sure. So that's how it's going to be. And so we're smack dab in the middle of a 11 personal month in the zodiac sign that's governed by the 11 master number 22. And so I think it's going to just be a very, very, by the way, those who will be the beneficiary particular month of February should say is going to be Aquarius, is going to be Leo, in a minor way, Cancer, or anybody that's born on the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th or the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, or the 29th of any month. Okay. So now we are going to start, folks, with the sign of Aquarius. Why? Because that is the month that we're in. And the survey for what we did from our comments suggested that people like this. Okay. I do anyway, because normally I have to wait for the 11th position. There's 11 again. But in this case, it's number 1. All right. So if your sun or your moon or ascendant is in the sign of Aquarius, okay, the theme for you this month, Aquarius, is to be a nurturing soul, to bring out the best in people, to nurture, to care, to coach, to counsel, to mentor, to be there when they need it. Not only that, but this month has to deal with relationships, makeups and breakups, adjustments, going back to school, getting involved in weight loss or exercise programs, especially as you come out of the very first week in and of itself, because it indicates that there's going to be a period where you're going to want to be left alone, get away from the noise, the confusion, and the drama, and just figure out, what are you doing? Now that it's my birthday month, what are my plans? What are my intentions? What are some of the goals and dreams and aspirations that I look forward to? However, around the second week, going from the 8th to the 14th, when the moon is in your opposition sign on the 11th and 12th, that's when you got to be a little bit careful. And because you're going through a financial week, it means just that. Be careful of spending and making sure that you account for every penny that goes out, every penny that comes in, or things of that nature. Um, and so it also indicates that you're going to be reconnecting with some people you haven't seen or heard from in a long time, by way of events that take place, or like reunions or christenings or baby showers or things of that nature. But as you go into the third week, you'll find that you're going to have this kind of thing to finally make some dreams come true, but also put a halt to anything that hasn't been in your best interest, because the goal still is to nurture. But you don't want to nurture where people take advantage of you. You want to nurture where people have this insight about, okay, I understand, I appreciate it, I'm motivated, and thank you so much. In other words, be an encouraging kind of person. Now, it's around about the last week when it indicates a chance to travel, a chance to be independent or more self-reliant, especially on the 25th, 26th, and 27th, when the moon is actually sitting in your sign. It tells me your ending of the month should be sweet for the most part. It will put you in a position where now you are being innovative. You are now stepping out on faith. You now maybe even get possible raise or promotion, or see what you can do for yourself. So these are some of the things that I see for you. The people who will assist you during this February month for all Aquarians will be Taurus and Libra, or people that are born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th of the month. The color to wear this month is blue. Notice I got on a blue shirt with a blue tie, okay? And the stone to wear or carry, in addition to shungite, should be aquamarine. Next, if you happen to be a Pisces, see, at least they're in second place, they're not last. And if your sun, your moon, or your ascendant is in the sign of Pisces, the theme this month for you is to bring on experience. Experience by being multifaceted, multi-talented, developing all the things that you can know. You know, it's so interesting. We in a world where, in the Renaissance period, okay, as they called it, where man diversified himself and he was this, that, and the other. Now they want you to specialize, that a person should just have only one skill alone. But if you talk to a major bottling Coca-Cola company, they got their hands in a little bit of everything. All right. So what I'm saying is, this is a month for all Pisces to bring experience, whatever it is, to the table, in terms of their gifts, their talents, their skills and abilities, to make it work and to share it, because this is going to be a life-changing month for all Pisces this particular period, and especially as we go into your birthday next month. Um, you'll find that you're going to make a change. The first change you're going to be making actually is in the relationship that deals with your home life. things of that nature, making those kinds of adjustments that's going to be very, very important to you. So, if for those of you who are interested in a weight loss or exercise program, that makes all the sense in the world. And as you go into that second week, you're going to find that you might have a lot of strange dreams, or you even maybe get a chance to travel to some faraway places. However, the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th, though, when the moon is sitting in your opposition sign of Virgo, you might find it a little challenging. So, but you find that on the very first day of the month of February, the moon is sitting in your sign, which is auspicious, and especially for relationships and for monies, and also these things will be very important. But you'll be an edge up, especially as you go into the latter half of the week, where you begin to grow, evolve, reach that stage of nurturing and understanding of the things that really means a lot to you. And then around about the 28th of the month, toward the very end, because there are only 28 days in February, um, there will be a point where the moon is sitting in your sign, and it's going to allow you to fulfill some of your fondest dreams. Allow you to at the same time begin to say, I don't need this or that, or somebody's been straddling a fence in your life, that perhaps maybe I don't need you either. But at the same time, it indicates there's a possibility of traveling long distance, or maybe some long distance person or a person from afar come and visit you. As for the people who are going to help you, more than likely during this month of February, Pisces is likely to be somebody under Gemini, your opposition sign of Virgo, or anybody born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of the month. The color that all Pisces should wear this particular month is silver, all right? And the stone they should wear or carry in addition to shungite is tourmaline. That's what they should wear. All right, now we're gonna go with Aries. See, they're in third place. See, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Okay, but anyway, if your sun, your moon, or your ascendant is in the sign of Aries, guess what? This month for you is about achievement, to do things on a grand scale. And because Aries happen to be in the 11th universal cycle, like the month of February in 11th universal cycle, in the sign of Aquarius, that's a master number cycle, this is going to be a significant year, especially as you come out the gate in the world of business. Because on the second and the third, the moon's going to be sitting in your sign. So Aries, you would be my new best friend for only 2 days. That's the second and the third. All right. And what it simply means is that things can expand. You can take things on a bigger scale. But going into the second week is when you have to be a little bit more organized, have a sense more structured, and have a plan or a method of how you're going to do things. And it's also a little health cycle, not in a paranoid way, but for those of you who've been feeling out of sort, you Aries, just make sure you get a general checkup. The beautiful part about women, they go all the time. They don't play. The slightest thing, a little bump or something here, there, they'll run to it. But for men, we need to, if you feel you're out of focus or not feeling your best, just go get a general checkup. Going into the third week, though, which is a cycle of change and cycle of opportunities and a cycle of travel, you may be a little bit careful because on the 16th and the 17th, the moon's going to be sitting in your opposition sign of um, Libra. And by that, it just simply means don't force yourself, be exercise a degree of patience and understanding, and just be a little bit more flexible. But as you go into the final week, that's going to be your romance and finance cycle. And that should be pretty interesting about makeups and breakups. And when I say relationship cycle, it doesn't have to mean for love or boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife. It just means I get along better with my neighbors all of a sudden. I get along better with my coworkers all of a sudden. But the point is that you begin to mend the kind of fences that make a whole lot of sense. Now, who is likely to help you? Well, those under the signs of Leo first, Aquarius second, Pisces, or if they're born on the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th or the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, or the 29th, this will be those persons who will help you to what degree you need. And as for the color, well, the color to wear is yellow from the lightest to the darkest. And the stone you should wear or carry in addition to shungite is hematite. Now, What about Tauruses, okay? If your sun, your moon, or your ascendant is in the sign of Taurus, the theme this month is practicality. And can nobody do it better than a Taurus, okay? First of all, they're earth sign. They're the sign of common sense. They're fixed in nature. Normally, they're very focused. But I'm talking about take that practicality to the next level in terms of your budget, in terms of your health, in terms of anything that affects your environment, especially in the home life, because it indicates that this month for you, especially Taurus, is going to be your money month. You know, I was talking about Aries doing well. Huh. They ain't got nothing on you, Taurus, especially on the 4th and the 5th when the moon is actually sitting in your sign too. It's going to be very good because you're going to come out the gate by some kind of fulfillment of something, some realization that, yes, that which has been a dream is now manifesting itself into a reality. So it's going to be exciting. But the more exciting part is actually as you go into the second week of the 8th through the 14th, because now you're in a position to get a raise. Now you're in a position to advance your career, your reputation, your job, or profession, all depending on what stage of your life you're in. But it's going to give you a chance to really be well at it. But practicality is going to be the key. Don't get carried away. Keep it real. But then again, with you being an earth sign, this should be an easy theme for you to follow. Now, I must say this, as you go into the latter part of the week, the latter part of the month of February, I should say, excuse me, especially around the 18th, the 19th, and the 20th, the moon is going to be sitting in your stress sign of Scorpio. And it simply means to take your time, don't rush. And because you're going through a relationship week, it means even more so that you begin to weigh things very carefully. Just don't jump out there, but lay back, let things unfold on its own in an organic way. But as you close out the month of February, you'll find that you'll get an opportunity to really expand, really grow, and really have some fun for the most part, too. Now, who's going to help you? Well, you'll find that those under the signs of Capricorn, Aquarius, Libra, or they will either be born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of the month will be there to help you just the way you want to. The color to wear for you will be black from the lightest to the darkest because they're all shades of black, believe it or not. And the stone to carry or wear in addition to shungite is pyrite. Now, what about Geminis? If your sun or your moon or your ascendant is in the sign of Gemini, the theme this particular month is interesting because it's about intuition. Now, Gemini, as we know, or as you know, being a Gemini, is a sign of communications. It's more of a mental sign, so to speak, okay? But this month says, you know what? You got to get into your feelings. And I'm not talking about emotional, this, that, and other, but rely on your intuition. What is your first thought? What is your gut feeling about something? Okay. It's going to be very important because what you're after won't be on the surface. It'll actually be beneath the surface on a way that's kind of hidden and offbeat. And if you can understand that, you'll do well, especially in the first week around the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th, when the moon is actually sitting in your sign of Gemini. You're going to do very well, and you're going to find that your intuitions, especially about money matters, because you'll be in a money week that week too, is going to be especially very important for you. And also, you decide that, well, I got a feeling I should do this, or I got a feeling I should invest in that, or maybe even a game of chance, who knows? But as you go into the second week, it's going to allow you to wrap some things up or plan a travel because that week, the second and the third week, it indicates travel opportunities to make some moves, to travel afar around the second week and to travel to someplace brand new as you go into the third week. But you got to be a little cautious because around the 21st and the 22nd, when the moon is sitting in your stress sign of Sagittarius, you have to just be a little bit more mindful. But again, because you're in a cycle of intuition, the law of attraction, you try not to chase, but to kind of think about what you want and let intuitions be your guide. Yes, it is good about communications. Yes, all those things are very favorable, which is rules your sign of Gemini anyway. But now you got to take on another dimension, which is that more intuitive and spiritual side that can't be seen, taste, or touched, but yet nonetheless exists in that way. as you close out the month of February, you'll find that you'll be at peace. This is a good time to, as I call it, mend fences, bring people together. Or somebody, don't be surprised if somebody don't ask you to join with them, to join this organization, join this association, get into this partnership, or let's collaborate on a project or plan or endeavor. So you'll find that very interesting. Now you're going to find that Pisces are going to help you, Cancers are going to help you, or anybody born on the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th, the 16th, the 20th, 25th, or 29th of any month. The color to wear for you, Gemini, is white. And the stone that you should wear or carry, in addition to shungite, should be moonstone. Now, what about Cancers? If your sun or your moon or your ascendant is in the sign of Cancer, the theme is to be steadfast, rock steady, unbudgeable, solid as a rock. Now, your sign is always the mother of all the zodiac signs. In other words, if you want to look about your mom or whatever the case is, they always go to the sign of Cancer, just like they go to Capricorn to look at the father image symbolically. Well, you being a natural nurturer, this time you can't waver. Because first of all, you're a water sign, which means you can flow. There's an ebb and flow, but your ebb and flow has to be consistent. It has to have some consistency to it, where by when you're doing something, it is again steadfast. That's the whole theme about it, especially when you come out the gate, because the first week indicates a possible change. But is that change going to be in a steadfast way where when you make it, it has solid ground to make it on? It's going to be an opportunity. There'll probably be some short travels or trips that will be available. But nonetheless, it is about making sure you're as organized as possible, especially as you go into the second week around the 9th and the 10th, when the moon is actually sitting in your zodiac sign. I expect you to do very, very well, and especially in the department of love. And yet there's going to be somewhat of a contradiction, because what is required throughout the whole month and what's happening in that second week is going to be kind of like a day and night situation, but it's going to be positive for the most part, because that week is very friendly to your zodiac sign. Going into the third week is when you get a time to reflect and lay back and get into the more spiritual and intuitive side, where you do a lot of soul searching and begin to do some self-examination too, of why things have been happening the way they have. But whatever it is, it's still about being steady, focused, rock solid in terms of what you want. And this is going to pay off definitely as you go into the latter part of the month, because you'll be entering a financial week. Yet the 23rd and the 24th says you got to use a cautionary period during those 2 days when the moon is sitting in your stress sign of Capricorn. And so with that being the case, just be a little bit mindful how you spend, why you're spending, because don't forget, it's about making sure you're steady and making sure that every move you make of a financial nature has some reason behind it, rather than doing things impulsively, because it's not going to work, especially in that part of it. Now, who's going to help you during the month of February? Cancers will be Aquarians, Leos, Geminis, or people that are born on the 1st and the 4th, the 10th and the 13th, the 19th, 28th, 22nd, and 28th and 31st of the month. Okay, they will be the ones that will help you. As for the color, Cancer, wear indigo. It's a color that's not normally assigned to you, but indigo this month is the color, or the color that you should wear. And as for the stone over and above that you should wear or carry over and above the shungite, should be heliotrope. Those would be the stones. Now, these stones that I mentioned, all of these can be gotten on eBay, Alibaba, Amazon, whatever the case is, or you can Google and look up to see what the meaning of these stones are anyway. They have a lot to do with it. All right. If your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Leo, the theme this month is to be optimistic, to let no one steal your joy, to let no one put no rain cloud over your head, but to be optimistic no matter what. You know what it's like? It's like how we look at a half a glass of life, half empty, half full. So for those Leos, if you take an optimistic attitude, negative thoughts negative suggestion will have no influence over you at all. But positive thoughts, positive actions will be the beneficiaries of all the things you want to do. And especially as you come out the gate, because the first month opens up where it say, okay, I need to have a sense of order, a sense of purpose, a sense of focus, a sense of direction. That is one of the main things to do. You'll see that everything you do will have a purpose or a role behind it. As you go into the second week, especially around the 11th and the 12th, when the moon is actually sitting in your sign of Leo. And it also brings about a notable change for the better. A lot of opportunities are going to be found, but the more optimistic. Have you ever had the experience of being around a negative person? You ever want to hang around with somebody where everything is like, oh man, it's negative this, negative that? Well, Leo, your role is to spread optimism all over the place. You can do it. Yeah, honey, you can do it. Yes, brother, you can do that too. Do not let anybody steal your joy. That is the whole theme for Leos this particular month for them. And then it's very complementary to the sign of Aquarius, although it's considered opposition, but it's fire and air. So it's very, very optimistic. And this is the attitude you should take. Now, as you go into the third week, that's going to be the week where you have to make adjustments. That's from the 15th to the 21st. You're going to have to adjust, and you may adjust your hair. You may adjust your wardrobe. You may adjust your house. You may adjust anything around you, including your diet as well, too. But the point is, do not lose the theme for you this month is to stay positive, to stay hopeful, to stay optimistic, to kind of like, I can smile anything you throw at me. All right. Just think of yourself as a sunshine, and the sun rules your sign anyway. So it seems a natural. And you'll find that toward the end, you want to go somewhere where you can get some peace for a couple of days. And yet it's going to be a little challenging because around the 25th, 26th, 27th, when the moon is sitting in your opposition sign, and it means to not let anything kind of worry you or bother you. Everything is going to take care. You know, it's like it's being in the right place at the right time and not worrying, because worry is simply a waste of time. But you'll find that you want to get away. You want to hear yourself think and get away from the noise, the confusion, and the drama. So it's going to really have a happy ending. Now, who is going to help you? Well, Pisces and Sagittarians are going to help you, or anybody born on the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st, or the 30th of the month. The color that Leo should wear this particular month is lavender, from the lightest to the darkest. And the stone they should wear or carry in addition to shungite should be lapis lazuli. That will be the stone. Now, what about Virgo? If your sun, your moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Virgo, the theme for you this year is a piece of cake. It's be the thinker. Well, if you look at the astrological phrase for Virgo, it's I analyze. Well, you're going to be analyzing everybody, okay? They're going to get sick of you. But you know what? By the time you finish analyzing, you're going to get to the bottom of why things have been happening around in your space. So in that way, it's going to be very, very good. And it's not about overthinking, but think about, sometimes we do things on impulse. Well, for you, Virgo, this is not going to be the best month to do that, especially all Virgos that are born on a date like that adds up to a 5 or a 9, because these are impulsive numbers. So if those are one of the dates that you're on in that sense, it just simply means slow it down, think first, look before you leave, and make sure that you're very clear on why you're reaching your conclusion, especially in the first week, because it deals with your money. Okay? And the last thing you need to do is not pay attention to what's going on and not thinking clearly when it comes to your resources, because you can have serious problems. But in the second week, though, that's when you can fulfill some dreams, especially around the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Why? Because the moon is going to be sitting in your sign. And I expect you to do very, very well with that and manifest some of those things that you want to happen. Also, at the same time, to put you in a very excellent position to phase some things out of your life, because as you go into the second half of the month, it's going to allow you to really be more independent, more self-reliant, to really kind of like say, okay, I got this. I'm thinking clearly. I've got a sense of direction, a sense of purpose about it, and you'll be better. And as you go into the final week, the only exception will be the 28th, when the moon is sitting in your stress sign of Pisces. You have to be a little bit more mindful to kind of like just take it easy, not let things rush you. And if there's a change of diet, nothing could be better than for you to maybe change your eating habits. There's some interesting things that I'm beginning to discover about these ultra processed foods. Well, Virgo is like the king of foods and diet and nutrition and anything like that. So to be perfect. Now, who is likely to help you? Well, those that are likely to help you will be Pisces and Cancers, or they will be born on the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th or 16th, the 20th to 25th, or the 29th of the month. Now, what color should you wear, Virgo? The color selected for you this month, ta-da, is green. And the stone you should wear or carry over and above shungite should be amber. Those would be the stones, okay? Now, what about Libras? Okay, let me tell you about Libras. If your sun or your moon or your ascendant is in the sign of Libra, the theme this month is about judgment. You know how your symbol is the symbol of the scale, okay? It can't be lopsided one way or the other. You need to exercise sound judgment throughout this entire month. Not jumping to conclusions, but gathering all the facts, gathering all the information you need to make an intelligent, judgmental decision. That would be to your advantage, especially when you open it up on the 2nd and the 3rd of the month, because the moon is going to be sitting in your direct opposition sign of Aries. So that right there tells you that you can't jump out the gate like that, especially when things on impulsiveness. And it simply means because of the week you're going into, which is a health week, as you open up, be careful of how you're handling things around the house, especially sharp instruments and things like that, ironing and cutting boards or whatever the case is. Just be a little bit mindful. It's going into that second week that's going to allow you to begin to take a more independent move about advancing your career, coming into some money, getting a raise or promotion. Or maybe you're saying, you know what, I'm going to begin to think, if you don't actually do it, you decide to step out on faith to see what you can do on your own. But it's going into the latter part of the month on the 16th and the 17th when the moon is actually sitting in your sign, Libra. Will you be in the best position to get people together, turn on the charm? The women's supposed to be the most beautiful sign under that constellation. Well, if that's the case, I don't care how you may look. You put the charm on from top to bottom, especially during that period. You're going to find it doing very well. Then as you go into the latter part of the week, things are going to open up. The latter part of the month, I should say. That's when things are going to open up. You're going to find you're going to be at your creative best. But while you are, it's about using sound judgment from the time we start this month all the way to the end. And you will find that it will be more of a blessing for you than anything else. And also, avoid gossip, avoid scandal. Don't get caught up into it. Leave. If somebody got something bad to say about somebody, as long as they ain't talking about you, let that be. Okay? That's how that should go. Now, who is likely to help you, or this month, I should say, is Capricorns, Aquarius, and those that are born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of the month. Now, what color you should wear? You should wear dark blue, and the stone to wear or carry in addition to shungite is beryl, Beryl. Yes, it is a stone. If your sun or your moon or your ascendant is in the sign of Scorpio, the theme for you this month is about performance. I don't mean in a circus. I don't mean on stage, but how you perform in life. Are you productive? Does it have a purpose? Does it serve a role? You know how they'll have we got to look at your performance record. Well, we find that you need to do better, or you're slipping or something of that nature. So you need to be in top form to do whatever you're going to do if you want to have a successful February. That's what I'm saying. And especially around the 4th and the 5th, because the moon is actually going to be sitting in your stress sign, okay, of Taurus. And so it simply means that, okay, don't be getting too carried away, but make sure that whatever performance you have, you perform at your best. You give it your best. You know what I'm saying? There's this saying, sometimes you can under-promise but over-deliver. In other words, don't be bragging about something that you cannot back up. That is not the performance you want. You want the performance that gets that kind of recognition of a job well done. That's exactly what you want. And you're going to find that actually it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to be thinking in a very creative way as you go toward the second part of the week, from the 8th to the 14th. You're going to have a sense of more being structured and organized, having a plan or itinerary to how you're doing things and things of that nature. So it's going to be good. If there are any health concerns, that's the best time to stay on top of it. Because if you go into the latter part of the month, especially around the 18th, the 19th, and the 20th, when the moon is actually sitting in your sign, that's going to allow you to make a pivotal change, a change that should change things the way you relate to people, the way your environment is, or even a chance to get away for a couple of days. So don't be surprised if those opportunities present themselves. As you go into the latter part of the month, that's going to deal with making some adjustments in your family life, your home life, your personal life, your love life, your health life. And it'll be a good time for you to go back to school or kind of like be a work in progress to evolve and take yourself to another level. Now, who is going to be of help to you in the month of February? It will be Leo, it will be Aquarius, it will be Cancer, or anybody born on the 2nd, the 7th, the 11th, the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, or the 29th of the month. The color you should wear is gold, believe it or not. And gold is a beautiful color, all right? That's the color that Scorpio should wear for the month of February. The stone you should wear or carry in addition to shungite should be malachite. What about those under the signs of Sagittarius? This is a cakewalk for you, Sagittarius, because the theme this month is about excitement. Sagittarius are exciting anyway. Sagittarius love to party, they love to hang out, so you will be right in your element. But the point is, it's about having a balance, because sometimes too much of is just as bad as too much of, okay? So go, in other words, whatever you do, approach it with excitement, approach it with enthusiasm. You'd be surprised how enthusiasm and excitement rubs off on you. You know, have you ever been around somebody where it's just, you don't get excited with stuff like that? But you need somebody to really like, yo, what's up? What's, you know what I'm saying? It just, that's the kind of enthusiasm. Don't go crazy with it, but you know what I'm trying to say. Don't be walking around all boring and stuff. If you're going to be boring, just stay home. I'm only kidding. But the point is, if you are about any form of making a change, do it with excitement, do it with some creativity, do it with some innovation, do it with some uniqueness about it, especially as you go into the first week, because that's your love week. So if you're in a relationship, bring some excitement, bring a surprise, take the person out. You go out with that person or whatever the case is, or even surprise yourself by doing your better, going to lose weight or making a commitment to yourself about, okay, I want to learn something. I want to take a course but something other than that. But as you go into the second week, it means to slow down a bit because the moon is going to be in your stress side on the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th in the sign of Gemini. And so it just means be a little careful, but you should actually be at your intuitive best because it indicates you're going to want to slow down. Don't be surprised about some strange or weird dreams you're having during that time where you wake up and say, what was that about? Because that was not exciting. But the theme is to be exciting anyway, okay? It's around the going into the second half when you go into your money part of the week. And that's the week of the 21st, the 15th through the 21st. And especially around the 21st, 22nd, when the moon is sitting in your sign, that's going to be a cakewalk. That's going to really get you excited, okay? So if you've been waiting for some excitement, look, that week during those 2 days especially should be exactly as they say what the doctor ordered for you. As you go out into the final phase, it's indicating that you might plan a long distance trip. Somebody far may visit you. Be encouraging to people, be motivational to people, bring out the best of it. But again, excitement is contagious. There is something about excitement that gets people excited, okay? And you'll find that. So when you go to a concert and you're looking at the performance, you don't go there to go to sleep on it. You go there to get excited, to enjoy yourself and whatnot. Well, that's exactly what you bring, as they say, to the table. Now, who is going to help you? Well, you'll find that Geminis and Virgos are going to help you, or anybody born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of the month will help you. And you'll find that your best color to wear is gray, from the lightest to the darkest. And your stone to wear or carry over and above shungite should be sapphire. All righty. Now, we get to the last sign Capricorn, you was first last month, you last this month. That's how it goes, okay? Now, if your sun, your moon, or your ascendant is in the sign of Capricorn, you know what your theme is? To be broad-minded. Here's why I say that. Capricorns is an earth sign. Capricorns are conservative. Capricorns can be rigid. Capricorns can be misperceived as cold or distant or lacking in feelings or affections, when the opposite is true. This particular month says you need to spread your mind. You need to be more open, more flexible. You can't say, well, honey, the only time we're going to go out or do something in an intimate way is every Tuesday. No, you got to be broad-minded, because if the person said, listen, we need to, later for that schedule, we need to be a little bit more broad-minded up in here, that's exactly what you need to do. So whether it's matters of intimacy, matters of fun, business, or family, having a broad-minded approach is going to be the best way. In other words, loosen up, okay? That's exactly what it's saying in a nice way. Y'all just think that's serious. Loosen up, all right? And especially as you go into week number 1, because it tells me you're going to jumpstart and get everything going just the way you want to. It's going to be like, okay, when do I need to begin to bring something to a close? That's how the first week is going to open up. The second week is going to be a little contradictory, and especially because around the 10th and the 9th and the 10th, the moon is going to be sitting in your opposition sign of Cancer. And because of the cycle you're in for the month of February and the week you're in, they will kind of like bump heads against each other. So it simply makes sure that you kind of be more diplomatic, more persuasive, things like that. Also watch your diet, what are you eating, why you eating these things and stuff. All these things are going to be important, but you got to have a broad-minded approach. That is the thing to keep in mind for you to kind of flex your muscles or be flexible to do other things. And, well, this is the way I've always done it, and that's how I'm going to do it. You're going to find also that in the third week, a lot of things are going to open up. And if there's any legal matters that you need to address or legal matters that come your way, you'll find that it will be resolved successfully. And those people that want to get into spreading gossip or trying to slander people, stay out of that, because you're not broad-minded. You're getting caught up in the people's drama, and you'll be left holding the bag too. So just keep an open mind about how things are going, because as you go into the final week, especially around the 23rd and the 24th, when the moon is in your sign of Capricorn, that's when you'll be at your best in terms of being rock solid, having that plan, that organization, the way you want to do things that favors you. So it's going to be very important. Now, who's going to help you? Well, those under the signs of Aries and Scorpio, in a minor way, Leo, are going to help, or anyone born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of any month. As for the color to wear, red, although that's normally not the color of the Capricorn, but red is the color of choice this particular month. And the stone to wear or carry over and above shungite is onyx. And there you have it, Miss Kimbaley, for all the signs.
You blow through it like it's so easy.
It is. I told you I got issues. In fact, I have an appointment with my therapist later this month.
Thank you so much, as always, for an awesome, awesome reading for February. I'm excited.
I am
I'm
too.
excited.
I
Leo
am.
got a good reading this time.
Yeah, and Leos are involved with a lot of signs. I see no more than about 1, 2, 3. You boy, people gonna be asking, pulling at you this year. There gonna be no
I
less than
heard
about 5
Pisces and
signs.
Sagittarius a couple times today too. That's something different.
Well, for you it is, and when I say that, see what people don't realize is, we always think it's somebody close or whatever, but there could be somebody that proves to be very helpful. If you say, what's your sign? They may say Sagittarius or Pisces. You know what I'm saying? But we don't think like that. All we know is somebody helped us out today. We don't say, well, what's your sign? Me, can nobody get in my presence unless I say, what's your sign? If you're going to get close to me, I'm going to get your birthday. But that's what I do. This is how I make my living. This is what I enjoy, that I'm passionate about. But everybody gets a turn, and I'm glad to say Pisces is first next month for March. It's their birthday month. Okay. So
Yeah.
and then not only that, but on the 4th, Mercury's going to go retrograde. It'll be the first Mercury retrograde for the year. They're all in water signs. So it's going to be interesting. The second one's going to come up on July 17th. Then there's going to be one in November, but it's going to be interesting. So I enjoy this. Yes, you about to say?
So last year was all fire. This year is all water.
All
Oh,
water.
that's
The next year will be
interesting.
air, and then earth. That's what it is. The one thing
In
when
the
Mercury's
fire
retrograde,
period.
yes, when Mercury is retrograde, wherever the sign is in, for those other couple of months, because normally Mercury goes retrograde 3 times a year, but they will go retrograde in the sign that is governed by the element. So the first one starts on March the 4th, which is in the sign of water or the element of water. The next one is on July 17th in the element of water. And the next one is in November, which is in the element of water, which is Scorpio. And then the next year, they will all be in air signs. Then the year after that, they will be in earth signs. Then the year after that, they will be back in fire. So it's just amazing how the creator works. And there is
That's
order in this
interesting.
universe. Mm-hmm,
We'll
sure.
really be slowing down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so what it simply means when Mercury is retrograde is just simply pay attention, try not to jump to conclusions. And but all of these things in the heavens have their benefits, and every single planet goes retrograde. All the planets are retrograde at some point. That would include Pluto, Venus, Mars, Mercury, Uranus, Saturn. They're all, some will be longer and some will be shorter. With Mercury retrograde, which is the most popular that most people are familiar with, it's a period of 21 days. Okay. And then there's the shadow effect, which is a couple of days leading up to it and a couple of days leading right after it, too.
So, for those of you who know, we launched the very first Power Series in January on the 21st, The Power of Your Numerical Cycles. One thing I wanted to do was to make sure that I thank all of you who came out, supported, and showed love during the event. It was a wonderful event. Lloyd, how did you feel about the event?
I loved it. I loved it. It was just the right amount of people with boatload of questions. And we were talking about how, because everything is cyclical, like the seasons, now that we're in February, then next month is March. It's seasonal. Then we'll be in the spring. And then the next thing you know, it'll be summer, then the fall, then winter again. It's cyclical. Well, we have our springs and summers and falls and winters in life ourselves as individuals. So that first power series about the numerical cycles allowed us to really expand how to determine your cycles, your personal year and month and weeks and days and the highs and lows, so you can be prepared how to take it when the wind is at your back or the wind is against you, so you will know how to be in the right place at the right time. But I have one coming up this month, though, and it is about the power of relationships. Yes, it's about how we form relationships. And yes, it's about boyfriend and girlfriend. Yes, it's about husband and wife, but it's about relationships overall. A person will say they're not in a relationship. That's not true. You could have a brother or sister, a mother or father, a friend or neighbor, a coworker, a buddy. Relationships takes on many, many layers. Okay, like they say, peeling from an onion, and you will get to see the layers. It starts with the family, and then it evolves up until the time we form our own relationships, our own families, our own children, our own offsprings, and it just goes on till we at the point where we begin to leave a legacy behind us. But from the womb to the tomb, we're in a relationship, always, constantly.
That is true. That is so important. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link down for that in the chat. And I also want to let you know that we do have the replay for the power of your numerical cycles, so that you can purchase that if you were not able to attend in person. We're going to leave those links down in the description box. So if you have any questions about that, just check the description box. You can purchase your replay from the numeric power of your numerical cycles, and you can also be in attendance for the power of relationships. To me, I feel like it's valuable to be in person, because in person, as you said, you heard that there were many questions. You get the chance to ask your questions and
Mm-hmm.
get answers right there on the spot. So that's one of that's one of the benefits of being there in person. And like I said, thank you so much for everybody who showed up to support. And I was so excited to meet some of you for the first time virtually in person.
Me too. Me too. It was fun. It was a
Yes.
lot of fun. And that's one of the things we try to make these. So not only are these series informative, but we try to make it fun too. You tend to learn better when you're fun versus learning under pressure or when your back is to the wall. You don't because you're in the defense mode. But we want to make it warm and receptive, very informative, entertaining for you. And that's the best way you learn. That's how people remember, you know? So it's going to be nice. And so it's going to be on February the 11th. Please take advantage and enroll. Hopefully, if you're not able to, we will have that available the next time. But for those that missed our first power series on numerical cycles, that's available, as she says in the link below. And also in the link below, make comments about how you like the new format that we're doing for this year, about doing the almanac or whatever changes or suggestions, because we are about growing and about making it better. Uh, I'm very serious about it, although I sound in an entertaining format because my background is in radio and television. So that is a kind of an industry where you got to say things in a very entertaining way rather than dry and stuff like that. So, but we're always open to it. We want to learn, we want to grow. And by the way, this is February, right? So there was one question that came in last month about somebody born on February the 29th. Well, that's one every 4 years. And what it simply means is I always ask the question when I meet these people born on February 29th, do you celebrate your birthday on February 28th or March the 1st? And one day we'll get into that. But that's just a little sidebar that came to my attention from one of the questions. You'll have a lot of questions, and we really appreciate the comments too. They're very, very nice, very encouraging. And I thank you very much. And as this lady, Miss Kimbaley, says, the God in me loves the God in you. No question. No question. That's a beautiful formula because we all have the God within us and we should
It
exercise it.
sounds like you'll be coming back before the end of the month. You
Exactly.
already got your topic.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We'll see. And also, I'll just mention really quick about
Oh, yes,
the
in February too.
Astronumerology Workshop, Numbers You and Beyond. This is your chance to become a numerologist. This is learning the art of astronumerologist and learning how to do this as a career. You have the best teacher here. The next workshop offering is on February the 25th. And this is not a workshop that anybody can join. This is one that is exclusive, and he only accepts a small, limited amount of people into this workshop. So make sure that if you want to check this out and inquire, then just go to Numbers and You podcast at gmail.com. And also, can't forget this because I'm excited about this one.
Oh, yeah, that's in April. The power of the hand. Oh,
Tell
yes.
us about it.
Well, the hand is the servant of the mind. When you tie your shoe, you don't even think about it. When you scratch your nose, you don't think about it. When you hug your loved one or hold your baby or hold hands or shake hands or count your money or whatever the case is, you're using your hands. It was interesting. I rarely watch something, but something caught my eye on the computer about a movie. But the thing that caught it when they showed his hands, his nails was real short. And the first thing my mind says, "Oh, this person gonna have heart problems," because the nails give you health indicators, the fingers give you health indicators, the line give you. Every single part of your hand tells something about you. And that's what I'm going to do on April the 13th. The power of your hand. It's just going to be a beginner's course. I have tons of books on the subject of palmistry. I'll probably make some of those books available for that listing. But you would be surprised. The beauty of palmistry is I don't have to talk to you. I can sit across from you like I do on a subway, and I'll just observe people's hands, how they're holding their hands. Are their nails long? Are their nails short? You know, their thumb, whatever. You're gonna, and then I'm gonna do show the hands of famous personalities. Okay, I ain't gonna tell you. Y'all need to come to the workshop to see that. But I got a slew of famous celebrities. Some have been on the scandalous part lately. Okay, but don't worry about that. You're gonna see their hands, and we're gonna talk about their lines and whatnot. But more importantly, for those that attend, we're gonna be talking about your hands and how to read your hands and those around you. So I got a busy schedule.
You do have a busy schedule, and you made me think about something too.
What?
It's interesting. You don't know who you're around. You can be out on the subway or anywhere, and it could be somebody else that is paying attention to you, picking up minor details. Just imagine you don't know the person that you're sitting beside, and this person is reading your hands, or wow, that's kind of deep.
Yeah, and give you a
Kinda
tease.
deep.
If the fingers are very long, that means the person is intellectual. They want to know. If a person's fingers are very short, give you an example. I'm with somebody and they got very short fingers, right? And they asked me a question. I says, well, once upon a time, back in the day, you know how you got to weave a whole story before you get to the point? Well, people with short fingers don't want to hear that. Honey, is it yes or no? Okay, can we get this out the way? Then if they got time, you can tell me the rest of the story. This does so well when you go into an interview. I mean, it just does a lot in terms of how to set and gear your presentation based upon the length of the fingers, whether long or short, the development of the fingers, the shape of the nails, all of those things you can spot instantly and begin to gear your conversation accordingly. It's amazing.
It
It's
is. It
amazing.
is. It's so interesting. And I want to ask all of you, if you haven't done so already, please like and share the video. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. If you are in 2025 and you don't have your astro numerology report for the year, make sure you go to kimbaley.com, check the website out to see what else is on the website. And I want to say to Lloyd, I'm not going to say guest because we know you're home. Thank you so much, as
Thank you.
always, for
Thank you.
bringing your knowledge and wisdom to us, helping us prepare 1 month at a time. It means a lot.
You know what I enjoy about you? Your never ending questions. You're such a woman.
Hey, I took it easy on you today. I'm
It's
getting
nice.
better.
It's nice. And I thank you. I thank you. We've been doing a lot. I look forward to March, but right now let us deal with February, folks. Your focus what's in front of you right now for this month, and take advantage of this month because don't forget it's an 11 universal month. So it's a very special month where each and every one within the sound of our voice and viewing this podcast should really think about how can I raise my sights a little higher? How can I raise my thoughts and raise my, as they call it, kundalini or consciousness or spiritual sight? This is a good month to do it. Everybody should come up with great ideas. I don't care what you do or what you think. Just be open and receptive, and all of a sudden, an angel on the back of your shoulder will whisper something in your ear. But the rule is to follow through on it.
So, what I'm hearing, everyone, astro numerology is revealing. Raise your vibrations in February. Thanks for joining.